This week on the show, we're looking at the greatest video game trailers of all time. Let's take a trip down memory lane and determine which trailers are the best of the best. Coming up on this week's HGO podcast. Hey, how's it going, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the HGO podcast. One of your hosts today, Ethan. Joining me, as always, is my good friend Hunter. Hey, Hunter, how are you doing?
Oh, I'm doing just swell.
It's lovely to be with you here during the middle of this wonderful heat wave yet again. I don't know why the UK decides to keep doing this, but I've had enough of it, to be honest. I'm sick of the hot weather. It's like 1 a.m. Why is it 20 odd degrees Celsius? I don't know. Why? I've had enough.
Yeah, the weather here's been a little strange. It's not been your temperatures yet, but it's been like, it's doing the thing it likes to do in the fall a lot in the past couple of years, where it will start and I'll wake up for work and it will be like, 50 Fahrenheit, and then by the time it's like 10 o'clock, it's already like mid 80s, and I'm like, stop it, that's drastic.
Yeah, it's like, I can't stand the heat. It's the worst, dude, especially in this country where it's just the humidity is always stupidly high and all of our buildings are built like little heat boxes, so we just keep it all in. This is the kind of thing where it's like, hey, if the economy wasn't so bad and there was a potential of me owning a house in the future, I'd probably save up for some AC at this stage, because global warming ain't helping, is it? We're just going to get there. But it's okay, because I'll be renting for the rest of my life, because we are so privileged to just exist in this economy, so who cares? It's going to be fun. No Kyle this week. To be fair, this time it's our bad. We forgot to tell him we were recording on Friday, so he's streaming right now. We didn't want to bother him, but oopsie. But hey,
he's doing great at Soul Calibur.
I'm sure he is. But hey, this week we are talking all about video game trailers and all that jazz. Probably a bit of a shorter one because I've got to get up early, so don't expect a thorough investigation. Who knows? If we feel like we need to talk about more trailers, maybe we'll do a two-parter, but these are, at least from my perspective, the ones that truly matter, the best of the best, there's plenty of stuff to talk about. So we'll dive into that as we continue to stumble into random topic territory. But hey, last week did great, so who knows?
Yeah, who knows?
But no, welcome on in, everybody. We're here every Monday at around 5 p.m. UK time, 12 p.m. Eastern on podcast services everywhere, and at youtube.com/HeartGamers only. Housekeeping for you. Obviously, we are in the middle of a load of review seasons. You've got AI the Somnium Files coming right up. You've got Donkey Kong, which I swear I'll get to one of these days, dude. I swear. I promise you there will be a Donkey Kong review at some point. I've just been busy. I've had to go for some tests and stuff like that, so I've been a bit busy this week. I'm apologizing for nothing, though, because let's be real here. Ethan, just get your act together. It's mostly written. I just need to finish it off. I'm just being lazy, dude. I was going to write a Drag X Drive review, but everybody else bashed it enough for me to feel like I've got nothing valid to say, to be honest. I feel like...
Dude, you shattered your wrists last weekend for nothing.
I know, but everybody else seems to be in agreement with that game being terrible. So, PSA, don't buy it. It's not very good. Easy enough, easy said and done. We could just have that be the main topic of the show and call it a day, really. But yeah, it's not very good. But we've got other game reviews coming out for good games, so you can check those out on the website, hotgamesonly.com, or at youtube.com/hotgamesonly and all that jazz. Yeah. It's such a weird game, dude. Like, genuinely, it was like after an hour I'd had enough. I was like, and I did go back and play a bit more after by myself, and I was like, this is not good. Like, what am I doing to myself? This is bad. God, drag and drive. Well, it's not. It's Drag X Drive. No one ever has done the little X symbol as an and. No, it's so dumb. Anyway.
Yeah.
And there were people on the Nintendo episode where people were like, oh, they're being too harsh to Nintendo. And I'm like, I feel like we've proven our point right there,
whatever.
buckaroo. Anyway, positives, Hunter, positives. Topic of the show, best video game trailers. It was interesting because Hunter came with this big topic of like, oh, we could do video game trailers. And we could talk about like video game advertisements and magazines and all that jazz. And I'm like, bro, I hate to break it to you, and please prove me if I'm wrong, if in the description, but like the wacky commercials you guys have of like people in big mascot costumes beating each other to death for Smash Bros. Trailers just
Yeah.
doesn't happen here. We didn't really get that, so there's not really
So
much
that's
of a point.
so that's the thing is I don't really there are only a select couple of video game commercials that I actually like remember seeing with my own eyes on TV while I was watching it when I was younger. A lot of this would just be kind of like these guys were off their rocker trying to market these
Yeah.
things back in the day.
Like I see them all, and I'm like, yeah, the wacky, like the weird PS2 commercials and stuff like that. That were directed by, was it
Or like
David
the
Lynch?
weird
Yeah, like very
uh,
weird stuff. But it's
yeah.
like there was a load of weird stuff, and I was like, I never saw that. And if I did, the only other thing I saw would be like there'd be on Cartoon Network. There'd be like a couple of like DS games, and usually be like two kids sitting on a couch playing Pokemon or whatever. The British commercials were very boring, dude. There was none of this
Oh,
crazy kind of
no rooftop parties for the Switch.
high on multiple types of medication kind of advertisements.
Yeah.
They just weren't a thing.
The Toonami block on Cartoon Network used to have like reviews, which were essentially just paid ads.
Hell yeah.
I would suspect, where Steve Bloom just tells you about the game and gives it an arbitrary score.
Hell yeah.
I remember specifically like seeing one for Twilight Princess during like the sunset of the block for a while.
Dude, I
Like,
kind
oh,
of miss
that
that, dude.
looks cool.
I kind of miss when video games would be like, you just get a magazine. It's like Twilight Princess gets an 862 out of 1,000, and you'd be like, "What the fuck is this review score system? Like, why was everybody so specific?" Like, you'd have like IGN that's like, "This gets a 7.37," and I'm like, "What? Why?
Oh, that
What are
was
we doing here?
a
Like, what are we doing here? That's crazy." So we thought we'd simplify it. We're just going to talk about the best trailers of all time, and what you have to remember, ladies and gentlemen, is hey, we're like 27. We are like the boomer zoomers. We're like at the top of the young pile, right? So it's like, I'm sorry if you're expecting like, oh, E3 2001 had an absolute banger of a trailer. I'm like, bro, I was probably 3. I'm sorry I didn't see it. Like that's kind of what it's going to be like. Vice versa, if Roblox has a sick trailer, I'm over that age gap, so that's not going to happen either. Sorry to burst your bubble. But I feel like there's a sweet spot. I feel like we lived in the golden age of trailers. I feel like we're okay with where we're
They were
placed.
good enough for us to be able to say they went downhill since they were.
Yeah, that's true. That's very much true. So yeah, let's talk all about them. I don't know if we're doing timestamps. I'm not gonna lie. With Kyle not here, I even forget we have a spreadsheet. So you know what? Hunter, you go first while I try and rectify the mistakes that we've made by not having timestamps already. So why don't you get started?
Yeah, I'll be honest, I wasn't thinking about it this week, but yeah. So I'm gonna start off with the first one of the first like major ones that I can remember as a kid seeing and like actively making me jazzed for a game that I didn't know when it was coming out or if it was already out, but the reveal trailer for Smash Bros. Brawl was like life altering as a child. It felt like, because I hadn't even played Melee yet, so I had seen it here and there, but I had not owned it at all yet. But seeing all of that jump forward into what at the time was impressive graphically. Looking back, it does seem kind of washed out like the rest of the era, but and then capping off with the reveal of Snake being in the game at the end was just incredible.
While we're here, we might as well just do Smash as a category, because I feel like Smash is a category of great video game trailers. I feel like,
That's true.
I don't know, I'm not a huge fighting game fan, but I feel like Smash Bros is the only fighting game where the trailers get everybody's attention. Like, you'll hear about stuff where it's like, oh, Terry's in Street Fighter 6, and you're like, oh, okay, that's cool, I guess. But when Terry's in Smash Bros Ultimate, it's like, even your random friend that from high school that doesn't really care about video games that much is coming up to you and going, "Who's Terry then? What's the like? Why is he in the Fighters Pass?" And you're like, "Well, okay, like it just goes everywhere." There's a
Yeah.
hype around Smash in general. I don't think there has been a bad Smash trailer. I just kind of don't. The one that's iconic to me that I'll always remember is the E3 Everybody Is Here trailer for Ultimate,
Yeah, that was also a fantastic one.
where it just keeps going and going and going, and then Snake shows up once again, and Everyone Is Here pops up, and then you go, is everybody here? And then the next character they show is Pichu, and you're like, oh my god, everybody is here. They brought back Pichu.
Pichu of all people, they
Yeah.
deigned to return. And yeah, that trailer was
Yeah, raging cars on
that one,
Hunter's End. Yeah.
dude. That one sounded especially weird.
Yeah.
But yeah, like that one was great too because like in the days afterwards, they're like, oh, not only are all the characters coming back, but at least most of the stages from every corner of the series did. I think everything except for like Pokey Floats came back.
Yeah, it was
Or
very
something crazy.
wild. There was a lot. I think back and it's like, man, do you kind of get sick of it when you're in that hype cycle, especially when it comes to DLC? Because like all people care about, it's like every Nintendo Direct discussion has to be, okay, what's the Smash announcement? And it's like I'm kind of sick of that. But you got to admit, when you're out of it and you're missing it a little bit, there is something about going, oh, you always know there's a Smash character around the corner. You know, there's just, oh, who could it be?
Yeah.
You know. The Game Awards, the Joker reveal. What a trailer. That trailer was so good. I was like, I'm finally going to play Persona 5 next year. I hadn't even played Persona 5, but like, oh my god, if Joker's coming to Smash, I'm going to have to play Persona 5 next year. There's never a bad trailer. There just really isn't. Sakurai just knows how to make good trailers, which I think is fantastic. And, you know, I think there's something about Japanese trailers a lot of the time. They're either the worst or the best. There's no in between, right? They're either, like, the worst trailer you've ever seen that doesn't give you anything, or they're the greatest trailer that you've ever seen.
Yeah, like, there's usually... Like, you can say a lot about them, but I think that unmemorable would not be one of those things. You know, forgettable would not be one. Usually, like... Japanese companies got wacky stuff one way or the other that makes you go, huh.
And you know what's a great example of this to throw it over there? Death Stranding. I feel like Kojima...
Oh, yeah.
Kojima, you never miss with your trailers, but I think specifically Death Stranding 1, I don't think there'll ever be a trailer cycle quite like Death Stranding ever again for any video game ever. I just don't think there will. I mean, the main ones that I wanted to bring up is obviously the first trailer, because it was just a whirlwind of, you know, hello everyone, I'm back. Here's naked Norman Reedus holding a weird baby, and there's handprints all over his naked body, and then there's beach things all over the place, and massive shadow omens in the sky. Welcome to Death Stranding. And then, you know, 6 months later, you're like, okay, maybe we're going to finally understand what this video game is, and it's Guillermo del Toro in World War II, and you're like, what is this video game? Like, what are we doing here?
Dude, as hilarious as it seems, because, you know, on first blush, that first trailer is very much like I don't understand anything. It really is the perfect encapsulation of what Death Stranding is as a concept and tone.
I think it doesn't matter whether you like Death Stranding or you don't. You can't deny that those trailers didn't make everybody want to play Death Stranding.
It made you want to know what it is, if
because you just wanted to
else,
figure
you know?
out what the hell it was and how it would make sense and what's going on, you know? Whether you click with the gameplay loop of Death Stranding or not, that's another thing entirely. But those first couple of trailers, especially, you're just like, what is this video game? Do you not... I remember people were shocked when we found out it was a delivery game, because so many of the first couple of trailers had nothing to do with that whatsoever.
Yeah, you did it. It took, I think, until the trailer that gave us the date to actually, like, find out what you were doing in the game, if I remember correctly. Because, like, the three that stick out in my head are the first one, the Game Awards one with Guillermo del Toro and Mads Mikkelsen, and then the release date one that had the Apocalyptica song. But...
yeah.
And I think that was where all the gameplay was.
And even then, it was just, you know, Apocalyptica playing, and it's Norman Reedus places down a ladder. Norman Reedus climbs up a mountain hill, and then 90% of it was mule camps anyway, so you still didn't get a good vibe for what the game actually was, hitting people around the head with briefcases. And it's like, man, what a incredible trailer cycle. Again, those trailers just made you want to play the game because you had no idea what it was. It just sold me on the game. To put this in perspective, I was not a Kojima fan before Death Stranding. I hadn't played any of the Metal Gear games because they were kind of a mixture of either before my time or not the kind of game that I was into at the time. So it was like, it wasn't really Metal Gear 5. But Metal Gear 5 was probably the first chance I'd have to play a Metal Gear game, and it just wasn't the kind of thing that I was up to. So I didn't really care for it that much. But then Death Stranding, those couple of trailers, man, I was like, okay, weird baby floating down the river with Guillermo del Toro in World War II with squid tanks. I guess I'm going to have to give this game at least a quick look. And hey, turns out I loved it. And Kojima's pretty good. So, hey, maybe I'll get to those Metal Gear games one day. Yeah, Death Stranding. Pretty damn great. Hunter, what's your next pick?
Before I move on to my next one, I'm just gonna stick with the Kojima theme for a second here, because one of the ones that I had written down was your pick of trailer for Metal Gear Solid 5 is also the guy just directs trailers in a way that's unique in the same way that he directs his games. Like, people joke that he makes the trailers before he makes the game, like, as far as figuring out what it is, and I don't think that's exactly true. But also, like, the guy definitely knows and has the ideas for what he wants to come across when he markets it,
almost to a detriment at times.
Yeah, because like the Metal Gear Solid 5 trailer that sticks out in my head, I think, is the E3 2013 one, which is like the big blowout for it, where previously to that it had been him being weird about the Ground Zeroes and then pretending to be a completely different person for Phantom Pain. And all of that. And then like the E3 2013 was the one where it was finally like, oh yeah, this is what Metal Gear Solid 5 is, open world, all that, which, at the time was a novel concept because not everything was super bloated yet. But and it did a good job at setting the tone for showing you all the cool things you'd be able to do in the game as far as the gameplay was concerned, and then giving you shots of all the characters you'd be seeing, like Quiet and Ocelot coming back and all of that, and Skullface. It was always the one that got my attention as far as the cool designs there. But also still just had goose feathers, insane Kojima-isms in it. Like, I think there's I think there was a flaming whale in the final shot of one of those trailers. I don't remember what it was, but it's like, oh yeah, dude was taking the Death Stranding medication early in retrospect.
Yeah, totally. I'll still let you go next, dude. I'll still let you go next. I'll let you
all right
have a freebie.
Yeah, all right. So one of the ones that, this is more so a personal one here, but the E3 2018 Devil May Cry trailer, return of the series after 5 years, 10 if you're a child. But but that one just amped me up so much. I was like, oh, this could be the only thing that gets announced this weekend, and I am jazzed for it. Like, did a good job at the Capcom presents pretty vague about what it is at first, and then the van just goes by with the sign on it. I'm like, oh, sick. And you see Nero, and you're like, I don't understand what. I'm like, oh, I didn't even know it was Nero at first until he revved his sword, because he didn't look like he did previously.
Yeah.
Oh well, Devil Trigger was such a great song that it got the game nominated for best soundtrack the next year on the back of just being a very strong marketing tool there.
Yeah.
But yeah, it looked rad and made me super excited to see the series come back.
It's always, there's always there's certain trailers when it's like they bringing back something special, where you're like, those hype moments are often the highest of highs when it comes to trailers, especially when it came back to E3 season, when there was something that's like, oh, here it is. Here's the one thing that you've been waiting for. Sometimes for like say 5 years, sometimes for decades. You're like, oh my god, it's
Yeah,
finally here. It's finally time. Gaming was worth all this bullshit. Finally.
and that was the thing too. Like prior to that, it felt like there was something in the air regarding Devil May Cry, and there were a number of seemingly bits of false hope throughout the years. But like 2018 was when it seemed like it felt like it was right, and it turned out to be right. And I'm like, that was good.
Hell yeah. I mean, if we're talking about hype trailers, one, bringing back something that people have been asking for quite literally, what, 20, like a decade at that point, maybe even like it would have been like 15 years. 'Cause let's be real, ever since the PS2 came out, people wanted a fucking remake of Final Fantasy VII. So
Yeah.
one, I think the reveal, because I think the reveal was just a moment. 2015 E3 was just a moment. But I'd also go for that E3, what quote unquote E3, 2019 Square Enix. When they finally showed Final Fantasy VII Remake, that first trailer where they actually showed the game, where, they showed Tifa and all that jazz. Because everyone was under the assumption, like, Final Fantasy VII Remake announcement in 2015, you hear nothing for 4 years. A lot of people thought it was stuck in dev hell or it was going to be terrible. I remember there was a lot of whispers around, oh, it's going to be awful. Everyone knows that the Final Fantasy VII Remake is going to be garbage. They're only doing a third of the game, and it's going to be bloated, and no one's going to like it. And then, in one foul swoop, that one trailer just seemed to convince everybody that it was going to be okay, instantly.
Yeah, it was like, nah, they got the goods here. And yeah, I remember because it was being described as episodic in the years in between those two trailers. And I was like, that... And because that makes me think of like, Life is Strange, Telltale, that kind of thing. I was like, that seems like an error of judgment. So I was, trepidatious in my own way until I saw that. I'm like, oh no, this does seem like they've got the stuff here.
I just remember it because, I, again, go back all the way to 2019 E3. I would have just... Would I be playing through Persona? I definitely would have started it. Would I have started it? This is like one of these things where it's like, I started Persona 5. Was I playing Persona 5?
You were in the middle of it. I don't think you had finished it yet.
I'd have to check my receipts here, dude. Like that's one of those things where it's like, but I was in that era where I hadn't really played many JRPGs. Didn't really care for that many JRPGs, and obviously as somebody who had his ear to like the floor when it came to like, I knew video games, I just didn't really care for that, JRPGs in general. It's like I knew about Final Fantasy, and I knew Final Fantasy VII was the big one, but I was like, I don't really care. No, I hadn't. No, I was playing it. I was in the middle of playing it. Yeah, I was in the middle of playing it. I literally, if you want to know, ladies and gentlemen, I had just finished Palace 5. I took a little bit of a break, and I was in between Palace 5 and 6. That's where I was in the timeline. So, yeah, I was just like, so I was like, I don't care. I mean, that Avengers game was coming out. I was like, I guess I'll see what the Avengers game is like. Cause that Marvel Spider-Man just came out, and it was actually, cause Marvel Spider-Man just came out. Marvel Spider-Man was excellent. So I'm like, oh, maybe Marvel's back on track here. Maybe it's not to worry about. And then I watched that E3, and yeah, my opinions shifted completely, where I was like, oh, I'm definitely going to buy Final Fantasy VII, and I'm going to ignore Marvel's Avengers to hell and back. But yeah, what a trailer! Like genuinely, like they just sold everybody's fears just kind of disappeared. And hey, another one that I also wanted to mention while we're talking about Final Fantasy 16's first trailer in that state of play. Oh, what a trailer! Oh, yeah. What a trailer!
I watched that one over or earlier today, just checking it over, and I was like, yeah, that was a good one. Square Enix has the problem of having entirely too many trailers. But usually they get one right, and then they just don't know when to stop. Is the problem?
Yeah, I'm gonna put it here as well. This is almost ironically great. Is how fucking funny those Kingdom Hearts 3 trailers were with the no background music.
I had that in the notable for other reasons category. Well,
list. This is like Square Enix block. We might as well mention them all together, right? Where it's like, Final Fantasy 7 announcement trailer, fantastic, and the proper announcement was brilliant. Final Fantasy 16's first trailer, incredible. What a trailer. I also think their second trailer was also damn good. It's just the ones after that weren't as great.
Yeah.
Kingdom Hearts 3, though, God, it was genuinely a joy every time they came up for the wrong reason. The choice of having no sound effects in any of the trailers, masterstroke of genius.
It also hit like every conference that weekend.
Yeah,
It's the
do you
other thing
remember
that was
that?
absurd.
Do you remember? I think my favorite part was when you went to Xbox and Xbox got the Pirates of the Caribbean trailer in the morning, and you're like, "Oh, so Kingdom Hearts is at Xbox? That's weird." And then you get to the PlayStation conference, it's like, "Nah, we're here too. Here's the Frozen trailer." And then you went to the Square Enix panel, and they just showed both of them, and you're like, "I don't need to see these again. Like, stop it." But yeah. It was a wild ride. Those trailers are very funny for the wrong reasons, but they're iconic because of it. If
Yeah.
Kingdom Hearts 4 trailers have sound effects, Hunter, I'm going to be very disappointed. That's the issue. Luckily for me,
Well,
I'm
who
never
are you to assume Kingdom Hearts 4 is getting
it's never going to
another
release
trailer?
anyway. Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Luckily for me, I'm never going to have to worry about being disappointed because I'll never see it. It's Schrodinger's trailer at this point. It's never going to happen.
Yeah.
We're fine. My next. I mean, you're next. You go for it, dude. What have you got on your list next?
So I'll do this one since it's keeping on theme with the Final Fantasy VII revealing things after a decade of waiting. The trailer for The Last Guardian.
Oh, hell yeah.
That was something
good
that it was like, by the time I had gotten into paying attention to video game news over the internet and all of that, that was something that had kind of been like passed down by the ancestors, so to speak, where I knew about Shadow of the Colossus and all of that, but
Yeah.
I definitely wasn't paying attention to video games enough news-wise when Shadow of the Colossus or The Last Guardian was announced to know about it. So it'd just be this thing that everyone would say every time there was an announcement showcase of some sort, and eventually it did happen, and it looked like I was gonna like it at least. Some people were like, "Oh, this looks weird," or whatever. But I think that it got across what you were gonna get with the game pretty well.
Definitely.
What it showed, what you saw was what you got, and it was real solid.
Yeah, I mean, I miss that era of Sony. I really do miss that era. I mean, yeah, I think the Last Guardian trailer was fantastic, but I think this is a brilliant time to bring up the E3 of Dreams 2016. What a E3, and an era of Sony that I desperately miss. Not because I'm
back
sitting
to back
here,
years, I would say
15 and
2015 and
16,
2016 were both great.
They were fantastic, but I often go back and I look at Sony's E3 2016 conference in particular, and I look at it and I'm like, I think that is as close to perfection for a video game conference that you can get, where you tick every box of you've got the stuff for the normies, you've got the stuff for the hardcore fans, you've got stuff for like everybody. There were bits where you're like, oh, what do we need an Infinite Warfare trailer for Call of Duty? Oh, what? You've just announced that Crash Bandicoot's coming back 30 seconds later. I forgive you for the slop. Thank you. I don't care. Like, okay, all's forgiven. It's just what an E3. And like a couple of highlights we can bring into here that I want to bring up from that is God of War 2018.
Yeah.
What a fucking reveal trailer that is. Because one, it's just 5 minutes of gameplay, which is, excellent. Wasn't even really a trailer because Corey Barlog was playing it live. So fair play, but great bit of marketing for it because, as someone who didn't care about God of War, instantly hooked me into the premise straight away. It was before the dad thing had gotten stale, so that was pretty cool.
Yeah, it also had like a 4-minute preamble of just the orchestra going off before they showed you any video footage, where I was like, well, I don't know what this is for sure, but I feel like this is the rumored God of War thing just off a vibe.
Yeah. But yeah, God of War and that Spider-Man trailer as well. Like, again, with the live orchestra helps. But my God, what a trailer. Just because I think the joy of it was, and I miss this, is it leaked, but the leak was wrong. Because the leak was that it was Sucker Punch making a Spider-Man game.
And everyone just assumed that was right because of logically infamous to Spider-Man. That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. So the fact that you get this Spider-Man trailer and it comes up with Insomniac Games, so you're already like, wait, what? And then it's just a fantastic trailer, and you're like, oh my god, we're fucking doing this. A great trailer. I love it. It's one of the best teaser trailers because it's only like 30 seconds long, but it instantly sells you on it like straight away because it's just showing Spider-Man doing sick tricks and beating the crap out of people. And you're like, that's exactly what I want from a Spider-Man game, and it looks great, fantastic. For a mid-generation kind of conference as well, fantastic conference in general because it showed you basically the second half of the PS4. And what a second half.
Basically, it set up everything else that was going to be out except for Ghost of Tsushima.
Ghost of Tsushima and Last of Us, because Last of Us was PX experience. So yeah, it's like...
Yeah.
What a little gem of a conference that was. I miss that kind of era.
Yeah, and from that show, I really liked that first Days Gone trailer. That made that hooked me into the game in a way that I feel like if a lesser trailer had been shown for it, I wouldn't have cared about it as much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's hard to get that hype anymore. It just really is hard to get that hype for anything.
Yeah, short of the thing that you've always wanted to come back or the thing you've always wanted to exist being announced. Which is
a category that I did want to bring up because it's not particularly fantastic for individual reasons, but long awaited announcements. And what I mean by this is the final thing in a Nintendo Direct that 3 people will care about, but when that happens, it's the best thing fucking ever. A couple of examples I wanted to give were stuff like when Animal Crossing New Horizons finally got announced because it had been literally half a decade since anything Animal Crossing, or this year, for example, Rhythm Heaven, Tomodachi Life, just these little mini trailers that for most people, you don't care, but the hardcore fans, it's the greatest moment of your life, dude. I don't know if you've got any examples of these kinds of things, but I'm just little
dude,
sparks
I know I've
of
experienced
joy.
These, but I haven't I can't think of any off the top of my head right now. I don't
Dude,
have any,
I've got
down.
like I say, just this year, I'm Animal Crossing, Tomodachi Life, Rhythm Heaven's a great one. One for me was Sly 4. Because that just randomly showed up at a Gamescom that I was not expecting, and I was like, "Oh my god!" And it's just little teasers where I love when you get this kind of big one more thing, this kind of hype moment for something that's not a Final Fantasy where it's they know, or a Resident Evil where everyone will give a shit. And I just like having those little moments where it's just that's good. I like that.
Yeah, I think the thing with me is all of those examples you're picking are things that never close the show for me. It's always Hades 2 announced in the middle of a Game Awards, and I'm oh, best announcement of the show. Easy.
They don't have to be a closer. They don't have to be a closer.
Yeah.
Rhythm Heaven wasn't a closer.
I was I definitely popped off real hard for that one. I was befuddled because they hadn't done a sequel yet, and pop off equally as hard when they finally tell me the date.
Yeah. I love those little moments.
Or Onimusha from last year was another one that was real exciting for me in that regard. Because that was dead franchise coming back in a way that Kyle and I both got our goodies from Capcom that year.
Yeah, I'm sure if Kyle was here, he'd say Okami too.
Yeah.
Falls into that kind of category, which I love those little things. They don't necessarily matter to people. Some people, literally the Animal Crossing one is, in all theory, is not particularly great because it's literally just Tom Nook sitting in his office going, well, bitches, I will be seeing you in 2019, which was a lie, Tom. But yeah, just those little bits. Or the Smash Bros, the Inkling reveal or whatever, where it's just the Inklings looking into the big fiery pits of despair, and you're sitting there going, is that Link's new design? Squint, I think it is. And you're like, oh, cool. Just those little bits and pieces. I think they're always quite fun.
Yeah.
Right, what's next for you, Hunter? What's next for you?
All right, so during the introduction to this, you mentioned that we are in our 20s, so we're not going to be mentioning anything from E3 2001.
And here we go. Here's an E3 2001 classic, isn't it? I've been fucking bamboozled yet again. I've opened my fat mouth. Here we go.
The trailer The E3 2001 trailer
For
for
fuck's
Silent Hill
sake,
2
no!
is really
No!
good. Like,
No!
it's an impressive piece of
Oh,
art
for
because
fuck's
horror
sake.
games, I feel like, are hard to trailer for anyway. Because a lot of them run the risk of being samey because you can't really show too much without it being, a lot of them have to maintain the air of mystery and all of that. And Silent Hill does that to a fantastic extent. They tried copying the homework for all the trailers for the remake, and it didn't work. I did, as famously, I did not believe it until I had the game in my hands. But the first one, just one of the most weird and off-putting scenes from the game, where Maria's just sitting there talking to James, and you're like getting the POV shot from James's point of view there, and just like the last couple of before it transitions to the next thing, there's like dead air, and she's staring at you for a minute while the song picks up some more, and like both of the like main theme songs of the game, Promise and Theme of Laura, are the two things that they use throughout the trailer, and it's just really good as far as like Akira Yamaoka with his alt rock jams could market anything, I think. But it does a really good job at just kind of setting you up for what you're going to get, showing some gameplay, and still maintaining the air of mystery and being weird all throughout it. Like, I watched that trailer like the first couple of days of the year, and I think that's what made me finish my review of the remake. Was it just kind of set off the Silent Hill receptors in my brain
Neurons,
again. So I was like, I'm gonna finish this. Because I was like half ridden from months prior before that.
Fair enough. Fair enough. It had to be the same E3, didn't it? It had to be the exact same E3 that I said that we wouldn't mention. You just had to do that.
Don't worry, I don't have anything else that old.
Yeah, well, I definitely don't. I definitely don't. My next, you know what? Let's go on a whole topic because we can do this. We can go on a whole topic here. I feel like we've mentioned a couple of bits and pieces. We mentioned Smash Bros. Then Nintendo. I feel like Nintendo specifically makes some great trailers at times. Obviously,
when they can be bothered,
when they can be bothered. And I think there's a couple of ones that I want to bring up. One that I want to bring up, I think the entirety of Mario Odyssey's hype cycle was fantastic in terms of trailers, because I think that you've got the first trailer where it's just like, oh, the cap has eyes and you can jump on it. That's cool. To going ape shit with that E3 trailer, which is a fantastic trailer for a video game, by the way, of, oh my god, you can capture everything and that's the gimmick. That's why the hat has eyes, because you are taking sentience off of everything.
It was really good. It was a great way to showcase.
Then to the final trailer, the release date, the launch trailer of Mario Odyssey, which includes, a lot of hype moments and stuff like that. It includes the whole jump up superstar stuff. And I'm just like, that trailer, I remember I was in the middle of, because it was 2017, so I was in the middle of, the start. It was the start of my second year of university. And I was, I was in the middle of coursework, there was stuff happening. And I just remember the day before, I think I must have watched that fucking Mario Odyssey. Instead of doing my essay that I needed to write, I just watched that Mario Odyssey trailer about 9 or 10 times, dude. Because I was just like, oh my god, look at it. Look at this game. I don't give a shit about this essay. Look at this fucking video game, dude. Look how good it looks. Look how good this game looks. And you know what? It was a very damn good video game, and the trailer did not lie. But I just sit there, and it's interesting because it's like, the reason I wanted to bring this up is because Donkey Kong Bonanza tried to sip on Mario Odyssey's Kool-Aid, but, Donkey Kong Bonanza, brilliant video game, wonderful video game. But in terms of trailers, it never really got quite there. The direct was fantastic, but in terms of actual trailers, they tried to recreate the Odyssey juice, and they just didn't quite get there in terms of trailers. And I was just like,
like, as far as Donkey Kong's trailer was concerned, I wouldn't say it was anything outstanding. I think I was like, that's a lot of that's some of the difficulty with this topic is placing what's actually a good trailer and what's just you're happy with the subject matter.
Yeah, yeah.
Because 3D Donkey Kong game that I willed into existence again um just made me laugh,
Hmm.
and I was very happy to see it. But and just conceptually I was gonna play it, so as long as it was fine, it was gonna be something I would pick up. And I would say that yeah, it wasn't anything to like write home about as far as trailers are
Whereas
concerned.
yeah, that's what but whereas the Mario Odyssey trailer, that E3 2017 trailer was
Yeah,
genuinely a oh shit moment. Like I genuinely think that trailer was the moment where I knew that Nintendo was going to be okay again. It's like obviously Breath of the Wild did okay, like did really well critically, and the Switch had started ticking up, but it wasn't until like that holiday season where the sales properly started, like, oh, the momentum's going. And it felt to me
yeah.
like that trailer, I was like, shit, we're there. Like that is it. Like that is what Nintendo needed, was Zelda and then this, like straight after it. I'm like, that's what they needed. They've nailed it. That's it. Because I knew so many people that bought a Switch because of Mario Odyssey. There was a
Yeah.
load of people that were like, that's the game finally. Because it's like, there were people that had a Wii U that could play Zelda on the Wii U. And it's like, that's it. That's the game. New 3D Mario. And I love 3D World. I think 3D World's brilliant. It's one of my favorite 3D Marios, actually. But a lot of people, especially back in 2017, had this stigma of 3D Land and 3D World. They're not real 3D Mario games. They're like spin-off. Like, people were trying to go, this is the first 3D Mario since Galaxy. People tried to kind of sideline 3D World. They kind of tried to shove it under the couch a
I
little
don't
bit.
want to. I don't want to discount their existence or their validity as games, but they do feel like a different kind of thing. I just
Yeah,
don't know what the word to assign to them is.
no. But so a lot of people are like, oh shit, this is the first one since proper like collectathon 3D platformer since Galaxy. And it's like it lived up to the hype. It just did. Mario Odyssey is
Yeah,
still relevant now, which is crazy because
yeah.
people love Mario Galaxy. Fair play. I haven't played it yet. I will get to it one day, I promise. But it's not in the same kind of zeitgeist as Odyssey is. People are still playing Odyssey. People are modding Odyssey. People are doing ROM hacks of Odyssey. Like, it's just like Odyssey is a different beast. It just genuinely is. It is huge. It's massive. And it's great. And
Yeah,
those
for
trailers,
sure.
fucking hyped as fuck, dude. Hyped as fuck. Do we talk about Breath of the
Dude,
Wild now, Hunter? Is this where we talk about Breath of the Wild?
I was gonna go to Splatoon
Go
first.
for it. Go for it. Hell yeah,
Yeah,
let's go for
okay.
Splatoon.
Because okay, just as far as the only one I remember, and
Yeah.
is or well, I remember being here when the third one was announced. We were in a call together and reacted to that one. But the first one, just
Mhm.
conceptually, Nintendo coming out swinging with a new IP. I believe it was 2014 was when it was
E3
announced because
2014,
they
yeah. E3
yeah,
2014.
because it came out the next year, and it was like ball with squids.
Mm-hmm.
That's neat.
There's a cat.
Yeah,
That's weird.
it
Yeah.
was just yeah. I just one of those weird Nintendo ideas that who would have thought that they make a new thing and it becomes their most popular, one of their more popular things in a long time.
Yeah, I mean, for me, when it comes, Splatoon has some great trailers. Splatoon,
Yeah,
they do a great job. It's managed to capture its aesthetic very well and is able to put it out in full force all of the time, for better or worse. To me, the shining example of a trailer, ironically, is for the game that shouldn't exist, and that's Splatoon 2. Um, that reveal trailer for Splatoon 2, because, Splatoon was huge. It was like people who owned a Wii U that had Splatoon loved Splatoon. I loved Splatoon. I genuinely, like, it's one of my, it's, no, I'll happily say this. It's my favorite Wii U game. It is my favorite Wii U game, I think, looking at it in retrospect. I think
yeah.
it
If
is.
we wanna shove Breath of the Wild off of there because it was a Switch game,
Yeah.
then yeah, I'd wager I like it more than because the only other
Smash
real
4 and Mario
competition
Kart.
it's got is Smash 4. Yeah,
Yeah.
like
Um,
Yoshi. But yeah, I think Splatoon is the best of them. Yeah, I would say so.
So that Splatoon 2 launch like reveal trailer, was fantastic because, especially because you didn't actually know more that how iterative of a sequel it was, because they showed the dodge rolls and everyone was like, is dodge rolling just a mechanic now? Oh, sick, you can dodge roll? We didn't realize it'd be tied to a fucking weapon. Um, you had you had the little teasers for the campaign and stuff like that. That's a fantastic trailer. There are a load of great trailers. That's January Switch presentation. A lot of the time gets a lot of flack, but there are some really good trailers in that presentation. There's a lot of shit.
The problem around that specifically was the guy talking to you before the trailer.
Splatoon 2. Trying to read what was happening in the room, yeah. But there was, fantastic trailers. Splatoon does know how to nail it as well. And I'll do you one further. Before we talk about Zelda, I can bounce it back to another Nintendo one that I fucking love and I think is fantastic. That first Xenoblade 3 trailer, that is like the flute music. The main theme on the flute is genuinely just that final title drop. The title drops in all 3 of the Xenoblade trailers are fantastic. The music to just the fade in, I think they're great. But that Xenoblade 3 trailer is just fantastic because as a fan, it leaked because Jenna Coleman had mentioned that it existed. So that was what we were going off of, was a voice actor.
Thank you, Imran Khan.
Yeah. Going crazy on from a meet and greet from a random fan. You love to see it. That's also how Black Flag is being leaked. So, we'll take that for what it's worth. It's still happening to this day. But no, that Xenoblade Chronicles 3 original trailer is... I sometimes just go back and watch it and I'm just like, what a solid fucking trailer, because not only does it sell it for new people, like new players, like it is probably the best trailer of the Xenoblade franchise, because there's a lot of bad trailers for Xenoblade. There are a lot of bad trailers because a lot of the time it's just really dorky dub voice acting, screaming, and it's like that one was a lot more just kind of, there was the cool action set pieces where people weren't just screaming, which was nice. But it just had those exploration moments mixed in with the... Wait, what the fuck? Isn't that from Xenoblade 1, but it's mashed together with Xenoblade 2? Is that the mountain from Xenoblade 2 just fucking smushed into the... It was just so much cool stuff.
Yeah, the thing it did really well was it sold its general, at least the beginning, the general premise at the start of the game to everyone pretty effectively, and it had all the nerdy stuff for the people who were, into the other 2 games.
Which is a very hard thing to do for JRPGs. Because a lot of the time, JRPGs just either have a reveal trailer that shows nothing, a la Persona. Because Persona reveal trailers literally are... Remember, guys, let's break them down, right? The last 3 Persona games. Persona 4 Revival, literally some fucking panoramics and a really janky fucking walking animation from Yu Narukami. Persona 3 Reload, which was literally walking through the school and a couple of fucking JPEGs. And Persona 5, which was literally just a red background with some chairs and some fucking chains on them. Like, that's the... that's the status we're going for. So it was just... I just remember watching that trailer. And Xenoblade music is a cheat code for just good trailers in general, to be honest, because it's just good shit. It's just good shit. Any trailer with an orchestrated soundtrack just kind of wins anyway. We were kind of hinting to that E3 2016. If you just have an orchestra involved, you just kind of win anyway. But, my God, what a trailer. What a trailer. Best trailer, though, Hunter's Breath of the Wild.
Best trailer in the history of anything ever is Breath of the Wild's final trailer.
My God, what a trailer, dude. Again, when we were talking about Zelda, when we were talking about Donkey Kong to Mario Odyssey, Tears of the Kingdom tried to sip from that Kool-Aid, dude. They tried to sip from it.
I think they sipped from it more effectively than Donkey Kong did, because Tears of the Kingdom has its own notable things about it that I really like the cool part where the song just kind of stops and the chant kind of screams at you for a second was really cool, and then it ends on this rad saxophone solo.
Oh yeah, it's cool. But my God, because let's rewind the clock a little bit, guys. January 2017, Ethan had played 0 JRPGs at this point in his life, and he's also not really a big Nintendo head. The only Zelda game I'd played is Wind Waker. And Wii U was my first home console, so it was like I was excited to play Zelda, but I wasn't chomping at the bit. watching this trailer was instantly like it like instantly converted me to the point where I was like, oh, I'm gonna buy a Switch to play this game I could play on Wii U. Like I genuinely was
Yeah.
like, it convinced me. I was like, oh, I've got to play this. I've got to play Breath of the Wild. This is a masterful trailer. It just is a masterful trailer.
I watched it several times a day for like 2 or 3 weeks straight.
Dude, sometimes when I'm bored, I still go back and like watch like Easy Allies and just other people react to it just because I want to feel that joy again of people watching it for the first time and going, oh my god, this is a Zelda game and it's coming out in 3 months' time. Like just the idea, well, 2 months because it was January, like
Yeah.
crazy kind of stuff. Crazy stuff. It's just the way that it blends the the visuals and the brief bits of gameplay and story with the orchestrated soundtrack. It's just the way the soundtrack just feels
The way the
tailor-made.
soundtrack builds
Yeah.
too, like the, environment shots and while it's all soft and stuff, and then it just gets further and further while the narration comes in.
Dude, my
And
main
then finally the
my favorite bit is literally it's the bit with the main theme riff. You got Daruk
Yeah.
with the "Here It Comes," and then it's like from that point, it's just like that is genuinely the best 20 seconds of anything I've ever seen in my life. The final 20
it
seconds of
sure
that
is.
trailer is so fucking good. Like, there's nothing that like genuinely nothing that beats that main Zelda theme playing like that ever again. Like, I genuinely don't think I'd love to be proven
Dude,
wrong. But my god,
putting the main theme into just random bits of other music is also a cheat code for the Zelda series.
It
But even
is.
at the end of Tears of the Kingdom, I popped off.
Yeah, it is. I don't know. There's something special about those games, and they both hold such a special place in my heart. But that Breath of the Wild trailer in particular, it's like one of those things. It's like I can't wait for the next Zelda game, whatever it is. But also, it's like I'm gonna be like one of those people, Hunter. I just know I am. I'm gonna be like Fire Emblem fans, where I'm like, those two games are my Zelda games. You get the fuck away from me. I don't know who you are, unless you're another one of you, and then you come into my family, and then you can join the pack, and that'll be great. But any change, Hunter, and I'll be sitting there. I'll be like, it's good, but it's not Breath of the Wild, dude. You see that launch trailer? It's not the same. It's not the same, dude. It's not the same. Where's Daruk? Where is he?
I want a special shout out to Tears of the Kingdom's reveal trailer too, because
that was pretty hype.
like no one was expecting that.
Not that soon. And
it
to be
was
fair,
so
we shouldn't have been excited
weird. Yeah, that's true.
with how long it took.
And like it was just, it was a bizarre trailer.
Yeah.
All things considered, as far they're in a cave and there's a mummy with a hand stuck on it. And that was enough questions to fuel us for the next several years.
True. To be fair, the first, I really love that first trailer. Look, it's one of those ones though where it's like, looking back, I'm like, as a tone setter, I'm like, you kind of made this out to be darker than it actually is, which is kind of like, fair enough, whatever. Whereas like all the Breath of the Wild stuff, I'm like, oh,
I did let myself
get
go
into
too
the
crazy
bait,
with
yeah.
thinking that they were gonna go darker, which to be fair, I think it was fine for establishing the scene that happens where Ganondorf just kind of wakes up and smacks him around.
Yeah.
But for the tone of the whole game, like I jumped to like, oh, maybe they were like using his undying spirit as like a battery or something.
Yeah.
Like I got super crazy with it as far as where I thought they were going, and that's my own fault, I would say. But
it's also that's just the territory of Zelda and just big Nintendo games in general, is the tinfoil hats go on immediately and everyone over analyzes everything. And when you have 5 years to sit on something, you just kind of sit on it. So hey,
yeah.
What are you gonna do? What's next? How many more have you got?
I've got a handful of them here as far as just other things with this is one that is in my notable for other reasons category. The trailer for Dead Island is one of those
yeah. It's iconic.
Famously iconic for perhaps the wrong reasons when you get to the final product. Because like
it's nothing
this is
like
another one that I had to this is another one where I kind of didn't know about it until after the fact, where like Dead Island, my first experience with it was just my older brothers both had it, and I eventually played it with one of them,
Mm-hmm.
and I was like, oh, zombie game. It's all right. It's substantially better when you've got someone to mess around with.
Yeah.
I didn't know about the trailer for it until way later, and I'm like, what is this? This emotional tone piece for a game that is uh, got none of that. It is the only thing they have in common is zombies.
Yeah.
Like the little opening movie at the beginning of the game when you know actually start it up that has like this goofy cheesy rap song and this guy kind of drunkenly staggering through a crowd is a better tone setter for the game as far as they're both completely stupid. I would say even then you'd maybe be under the impression that something different was going on before you start the game up.
Yeah. It's a weird one, right? It's like it's iconic. It is one of the game trailers. But also, yeah, it was nothing like the fucking video game that came out when you actually
My favorite
played it.
thing is that people don't even like learn from this now. Like, what was it? State of Decay
Yeah.
or something the last year or the year before. I don't remember anymore. Where they were like, "Oh, we're trying to make this all emotional," and this is very clearly just another co-op zombie game. Like,
Do we have to? Do
Phil
we even have
Spencer,
to
you're a
mention?
fraud.
Yeah. Do we even have to mention Black Ops 7 baiting everybody? And then, oh,
Oh
this
my
looks like
god.
it might be interesting. See Call of Duty. Oh well, I guess that's that then. It's all fun,
Oh yeah.
dude. Speaking of Call of Duty, again, this is like one of those where it's like it's more of a me thing more than anything. But so many like for such a talentless institution that is Call of Duty, so many good trailers from the zombies side of things. It's like for many years it was the one area where it was like this is where the creation like the creative energy can go because none of the shareholders are going to care about zombies, so we're just going to let you do what you want. But so many good trailers. So the two things I wanted to shout out were obviously a lot of people, as some of you may know, one of the things that Call of Duty Zombies is kind of iconic for is having an in-house oh my god, that was very northern of me there. In-house, mate. In-house. Jesus. In-house audio department who make their own music. And they hide their music in the levels, they turn into Easter eggs, but they're actually really good fucking songs.
Yeah.
And they've had a lot of notable artists work with them, like Avenged Sevenfold, to make original music and stuff like that. And there's a load of cool stuff. And they got to a point where these songs were so huge for the maps that a month after release, they'd have their own music videos, but would be trailers for the maps with like story spoilers and stuff like that because it was a month after. So they just had these really cool trailers for the songs that came out, which I was like, that's really cool. You don't really see many studios do stuff like that. So I like that. That's a really cool thing. But also, it's just like, it's that Smash Brothers effect, dude. It's like, there's so much hype. There used to be so much hype for these trailers where it's just like the reveal of stuff. My favorite one of all time has got to be for Black Ops 4. There was a map called Blood of the Dead, which was like a spiritual successor, a remake of one of the most classic Call of Duty Zombies maps, which was Alcatraz, right? And it was little more than just a fade up from black and a slow rise up to kind of reveal it, where it playing like the creepy music, like the eerie, it's like the main track of the map, which is called like Where Are We Going? And it's the way that they managed the audio design, and it's literally like a 10-second teaser, but the way it just like instantly just sent like fuck it, like neurons activated, literally shivers down your spine, and you're just like, oh my fucking god, they're doing it. They're remaking one of the best maps of all time. And it's just the way that they do it. Like, I just love less is more in trailers sometimes. Like, yes, there's the big Zelda, it's finally coming moment is incredible. But also I really do appreciate just like, if you're going to do a teaser, like the Zelda teaser, where it is just less is more sometimes, when it is just Link and Zelda in a cave and Zelda falling to what you presumably think her doom is and the weird corpse and stuff like that. You know, less is more sometimes. And I'm like, I love when you can just nail it. So many trailers these days, and I think that's a problem with modern trailers, just try and show so much shite that no one cares about. He's just like,
The
dopamine, dopamine,
Clockwork
dopamine, dopamine.
Revolution I
Yeah.
think was the game that lasted for like 5 minutes,
Mm-hmm.
or not even five, like probably actually five, but felt like 15 earlier in the summer here.
Yeah, yeah. Dude,
It's
modern
no
Call of
date
Duty does
still.
that now. There's no subtlety in modern Call of Duty whatsoever. It's just dopamine, 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 dopamine. Like the thing, shiny
Well,
thing, rarity, loot boxes,
the
doobie
only
doo. And you're like,
only
fuck.
subtle when they're trying to trick you into thinking it's something else.
Mm. I know, right? It's pretty great. Welcome back to the COD hype cycle, everybody, where we're so back, it's so over, we're so back, it's so over. It's like, what a great marketing strategy. If we pretend we're a different game, maybe people will try it again for the 17th time. Um, but yeah, I love less is more, dude. I genuinely, when you're on a budget as well, I feel like some of the best trailers come from restrictions. I think that's just like,
Yeah,
so many indie trailers are great just because they just get the job done because they don't have this expensive budget. So it's just, hey, look at this sick gameplay. Don't you like sick gameplay? And I'm like, I kind of do like sick gameplay. Thank you.
it's true. Usually indies kind of just are like, yo, here's concept. Do you kind of like it? And I'll be like, yes, I do.
Hell yeah, dude. Hell yeah. Give it to me. Give it to me. Uh, you got anything else? I've got a couple,
um,
but they're more rapid fiery.
yeah, I've got a couple. As far as
Mm-hmm.
this one is more anecdotal and also with the indies thing. Pyre Pyre's reveal trailer
Yeah.
is one I specifically have a vivid memory of. It wasn't announced at any big show or something. Supergiant just kind of dropped it on YouTube one day, and I was sitting there and like I had finished my work in my web design class at school at the time, and saw that and I'm like, ooh, and like it did the typical cool Supergiant Darren Korb music
Yeah.
intro, and then I didn't really understand what was happening in the gameplay yet, where it was, Pyre's got the 3-on-3 handball um kind of sports game thing going on with it as far as the gameplay loop is concerned. But I did see cool character designs and heard some cool music, and I was like, yeah, this is good enough for me. I really liked your other games, so
Yeah.
I'm in.
Yeah. There's plenty. Supergiant does good trailers. They do good trailers.
Yeah.
Um, like I say, a couple more, and then we'll do some rapid fires to round it out. One that I wanted to mention. This is a more recent one from the last couple of years. Again, way to sell me instantly on a game with one single trailer. Expedition 33's reveal trailer. What a fucking
Yes, I
trailer,
had that
dude.
one
Yeah.
marked down. I was gonna be like, oh, for one that's, probably the best one in the past couple of years, I would say, as far as new thing. Here you go. Like,
So she will
yeah,
never paint again is like one of the hardest lines that I have heard in a long time for, especially because that is not a line that is in the video game. That narration is entirely just for the trailer, and it's like fucking nailed it. Like genuinely nailed the assignment instantly. Um, what a trailer! What a trailer, dude.
yeah. I remember that one too because like I remember being honed into the visuals of it as
Mm.
far as that was concerned, but because we were like bantering over the trailer for a minute, like it wasn't until Kyle was like, "Is that Ben Starr?" that I was like, "Oh, is it?"
Yeah,
Oh my god, man. Yeah, that trailer is one of the best in a while for sure.
sets up the premise, shows some excellent gameplay, and it just
Just
sets it up
does
so
that
nicely.
cool thing where it matches the sound effects with the music too, in
Yeah,
a way that like yeah.
I still have the trailer music in my head because it's that good and it's timed that perfectly with the gameplay that it's like the actual song is still in my head, which is crazy. Um, but no, I just like I say that narration from Ben Starr is fantastic, which is really funny because he wasn't even playing Verso when they recorded that voice line. Like he was just asked to come in and do the trailer because he was really like, and
That's
then so they
hilarious.
hadn't even started working on it yet, and I'm like, that is crazy, like genuinely crazy stuff. Because I remember everyone was like, is he the main character? That's weird. Everyone thought he was going to be Gustav, and
I would
then
have thought it was gonna be
yeah,
Gustav, yeah.
but hey ho, yeah, brilliant trailer, like genuinely fantastic. Even to the point, it's a good trailer because Claire Obscure Expedition 33 is not a great title for a video game, and I wasn't sitting there going, what a fucking stupid title. I was like, nah, that looks kind of sick. Because most video games have these kind of titles now where it is like, everything's got to have a subheading and all of that jazz, and it's like, everyone calls it Expedition 33. No, everyone ignores Claire Obscure. Everyone just kind of sits there and goes, it's there, I guess.
Yeah. Or it'll be like sometimes you get the one-word titles that also take forever for you to remember what they are. Because like Returnal took a while for me to catch on as far as keep it in the head. Forspoken, substantially less good of a game, but also couldn't remember the title to save my life for a long time.
Oh yeah, it's like it's like Awakening 9 or whatever. It's like, why does everything have to be like? It's like, I remember when Horizon Zero Dawn was announced. And I was like, dumb name. Should just be called Horizon. We don't need subheadings on the first entry in a series, really, guys. Come on. We're bigger than this. We don't need it. And it just seems like ever since then, everything has to have a subheading. And I'm just like, sometimes I just kind of want, like, I'm glad it's called, to be fair, because Expedition 33 is one of the very few where I'm like, it should just, this was the argument would be, should just be called Claire Obscure. And if it was up to me, I'd be like, nah, Expedition 33 is such a sick name for a video game that it should just be called Expedition 33. But I'm so used to it now. It's a Game of the Year contender, mate. Of course, Claire Obscure Expedition. You can call yourself whatever the fuck you want, Sandfall, because if you making games like that, go for it, mate. 20-word title. I don't care. I'll buy it. Go for it.
Oh, yeah.
But no, fantastic. Hunter?
All right, so also present in that conference last year. This is not my entry, but the Dragon Age trailer was one that made me skeptical while I was watching it.
Yeah,
I was like, and then I remembered Dragon Age never trailers well, with one exception.
Okay.
There was one exception. E3 2013, the trailer for Dragon Age Inquisition was sick. Because, part of my problems with Dragon Age 2 was kind of that it was very small scale in a way that didn't feel like I was able to be the change in the world that I wanted to be in this world that was very, very harsh to exist in. And Dragon Age Inquisition set the tone for, making the stakes grander again, all while having a Morrigan narrating it. And then you get shots of the characters here and there as you're going through it. You see some of the greater effects on the environments at the time, and then like you get the shot of Morrigan walking up to you as the narration finishes at the end. It was just really good in a way that held me until the game came out the following year, where like they had other trailers and I was like, nah, do not need that. And that wasn't a habit I was in as much back in the day, where now I'll be like, okay, I'm interested in that, I'm gonna stop looking at things about it.
No, that's fair.
Whereas, back when I was still in school, I was kind of like, I want to know everything about this.
Oh, dude, I was the same way. I was the same way. Yeah.
But yeah, that trailer. One good Dragon Age trailer.
It's good stuff. I think it'd be remiss to not mention Rockstar when it comes to trailers. And specifically, one, I think all the Red Dead Redemption 2 trailers. I think Rockstar makes great trailers, but like genuinely, like they can show absolutely fuck all, and I still sit there and I go, like that GTA 6 first trailer, they show like fuck all of that video game, like genuinely absolutely nothing, and I sit there and I go, you know what? Fantastic trailer, because it immediately sets the tone, and for me, I think the pinnacle of that is Red Dead Redemption 2's trailers, because the second one in particular, the first teaser's all right. Again, good tone setter, welcome back to the Wild Wild West. But that second Red Dead trailer, the one that finally reveals Arthur Morgan as the protagonist, is
that was good.
Fucking fantastic. Like genuinely, I was so upset that the game had got delayed after seeing that trailer, because I was like, oh my god, I can't, the the bury her in black on in your behalf line is like I just love Arthur Morgan's fantastic. It's so great. But
Great
that
character.
trailer is just fucking incredible. I miss having trailers where you look at a game and you go, no way is that fucking real. Like, no way are they doing that.
Mhm.
Like, I just remember there's the scene where Arthur is being manhandled through the saloon door into the mud, and then the mud just is just they're just covered in mud. Like, just like it's raining and
Yeah.
there's just mud. I'm just like, how are they doing this? Like, this is crazy. Like, how are they doing this? And you still get that with Rockstar now. Looking at that GTA 6 trailer, I'm like, yeah, that game looks. It's well, one, it's probably cost like $6 billion to make, but you do look at it and you go, to be fair to them, you don't see a game look like that still. They're the only people where I still do look at it and go, Death Stranding 2 is a close one where I'm like, yeah, that's also there. But it's like very rare, very few companies can actually make me go, oh, that's impressive they've got that running on PS5. Because most of the time now, we're just living in a world where the PS4 is still supported, so PS5 games are just
Yeah.
slightly shinier PS4 games, you know? It's just like, oh, it's a PS4 game, but you can run it at 60. Whereas I'm looking at that GTA 6 trailer half the time and I'm like, it's not real. Fake news, dude. They're great at it. Rockstar are great at it. Whether you like their games or not, they know how to make a good trailer, dude. They know how to make a cinematic trailer. It's a shame they only make one game a decade at this point, but you know, what can you do? Give me my Red Dead 2 port and I'll be fine.
Do it, cowards.
Right, Hunter, you got any more little rapid fires, some quick little rapid fires to wrap it up?
I got a few more recent ones to rapid fire here. So, one that sold me just kind of on the trailer and the general premise of it was Sifu. Was one where I was like, oh, this looks cool. As far as, you know, they just kind of show the guy doing his stretches before getting into the hallway fight, which, you know, that ticked off the Daredevil show liker in my brain.
Yeah.
As far as that went, and then you see him die or whatever, and he ages, and I'm like, ooh, it's a good twist.
Hell yeah.
Similar kind of time frame. Returnal's reveal trailer was really good, I think, where they get the point across really well, show you that Housemarque is doing something different, and it's awesome. And then this one, Crowsworn. This is a game that's not out yet, but the trailer was so good that I was like, you're asking for Kickstarter money. I am going to give it to you because this trailer was rad. It was like this cool animated thing to start with, and then it transitions into a game that looks artistically similar to Hollow Knight, but it's got enough different things about it where it's even more goth as far as that's concerned. Like, if you watch it, you will understand why it was something I went to immediately as far as I'm back in this, because it is right up my alley.
Hell yeah. Couple of other ones that I wanted to mention just because I can. Two that live in infamy, but you gotta admit they're good trailers because they convinced everybody that they were games that they weren't. The original launch reveal trailer for No Man's Sky, fantastic trailer. Same for Cyberpunk 2077, the first gameplay trailer of that, fantastic. The game wasn't like that, but fantastic first trailer. Couple from my childhood, we jokingly mentioned them in the pre-show, so I don't want to bring them up too much. Assassin's Creed 2 and Assassin's Creed Revelations. Assassin's Creed 2 was my Dragon Age moment where it was like, I want to find out everything about this game. And I remember watching the reveal trailer on YouTube in about 240p and go on IGN's like YouTube channel and going, wow, Renaissance Italy, what a great idea for a video game, dude. Like, that looks sick. It's pretty great. Assassin's Creed Revelations, just an iconic trailer, Woodkid soundtrack. Old Ezio being hung on the leap of faith platforms that Altair was diving off of in the first game. What an iconic little moment that was. Here's one for a game that I didn't end up liking. The first trailer for Deathloop. Fantastic trailer. I just sit there.
Yeah, that's right.
If at first you don't succeed, die again. It's a fantastic trailer. And I sit there and sometimes I go, wow, imagine if that game was good. We could only
imagine if they had that trailer and one other one, and that was it.
Yeah, and also
the game promotion world tour that they went on from announcement to release.
And then the game wasn't even that fantastic when we did get it, so it was it
Yeah,
felt all for naught. But fantastic first trailer. Set the tone and set the premise up really quick, and it was really good. The reveal trailer for Horizon Forbidden West was fantastic.
I really like that one. I went back and watched the Zero Dawn one earlier today too, and I forgot how good that is. It just establishing new IP.
Mhm.
This is what it looks. This is what it's gonna play like. And I thought the T-Rex was in the next year's trailer, and I was wrong. I like split that
Yeah.
one into half.
Uh, and then a couple of final Sony ones that I would be amiss to, even though I don't particularly like the games that much, that I still think are pretty good. Uh, Ghost of Tsushima's reveal trailer was, again, also a very good trailer. I just am jaded because I don't like Ghost of Tsushima that much. But in terms of a tone setter and being different for Sucker Punch and going, no way, they made this. Fantastic little trailer. Um, and hey, this was back when people still had a love for Naughty Dog, dude. The original reveal trailer for Last of Us Part 2, I still think is a fantastic little tone piece. I fucking hate every other trailer for that game because the trailers didn't know it seems like they really didn't know what they wanted to do with Last of Us in terms of promotion, never mind the fucking game leaking in the release. It never felt like they
Yeah,
had control over it. But that first trailer with Ellie singing and that I'm gonna kill every last one of them, considering they had just released Uncharted 4 that year, like it was literally this.
yeah,
It was PlayStation experience after Uncharted 4 had just come out. It was the same experience where they announced Uncharted: The Lost Legacy, if you can believe that.
yeah.
They did both at the same time. To just sit there and watch that and go, "Oh my god, they're doing it! Fantastic!" Shame the rest of it
It
was
was
fucking
really
messy, but it was really cool. Great little trailer. I also just think it's fantastic because it's just a really funny, again, not a part of the game at all. Just love the smoke and mirrors of The Last of Us
not a
Part
part
2.
of the game. Got people to get where they were going, and also be very angry about it once it actually happened too.
My favorite
A
thing about
very
that trailer
it's a
is
very funny thing in retrospect.
everybody guessed, and a lot of the time, a lot of people jokingly guessed what the premise was. And I think it's really funny that they then spent the following remainder of all the trailers trying to lead people off of that trail again. And I'm like, people
Almost
were.
like you shouldn't have
It's
done
almost like you
that
shouldn't
if you
have
were
done
gonna.
that. Yeah. Or just commit to it because a lot of people had guessed it. And I know a lot of people though were also sitting there going, yeah, no, that's not it. But the more you kind of avoided that topic, the more it seemed all but certain. So it felt like
Yeah, or you were just outright lying in some cases.
yeah, true. Um, yeah, just absolutely true. And also, it doesn't count as a trailer really because it is like, well, I guess it does. If we counted God of War, guess we count that. That Uncharted 4 clip that they showed at like 20, was that 2016 or 2015? That would be 2015,
It would
wouldn't
have
it?
been 2015, the one they
That little
closed out with.
gameplay moment again is one of those things where I'm like, video games. How are video games real, dude? How are video games real at time? That is a great little gameplay section with Nate jumping off the truck and then grapple hooking over the water. Fantastic. Um, it's all like the one thing I do miss from the Uncharted era of Naughty Dog making Uncharted games is I miss the set pieces. I do miss having these kind of really fun moments where I'm like, now you get one Uncharted, like one Naughty Dog game a decade, and it's like, and it looks like Intergalactic is going
And
to
the
be one of
set
those
piece is
mopey.
depression.
Yeah, it looks like Intergalactic is going to be another game about depression and anxiety, and I'm like, I kind of just miss.
Yeah.
I can't believe I'm saying this because I was so done with Uncharted when it was done, but I'm like, I miss the quips. I kind of miss the lightheartedness, dude. I kind of do. Naughty Dog's been in the drear for a long time. Like, it's just like
Yeah.
the whole of Sony is. It does kind of feel like the whole of Sony is in the dire kind of. I'm not talking about financially. I'm just talking like Ghost of Yotei, God of War, Last of Us, Intergalactic. They all kind of feel in the same kind of we're very serious, we're an art piece kind of thing. I just kind of miss the jokes. I miss the
Yeah, and
banter a
it's
little
like
bit.
it's funny because it's not like the other lighter in tone things don't exist. We just got Astrobot last year,
And
and
Ratchet was
like
2021, and Spider Man's
yeah,
obviously pretty quippy.
and I would say that like Horizon's not exactly like cracking jokes all the time, but it's, lighter on the tone, more like adventurous rather than be sad.
Yeah. Yeah. There's something that, like I say, it's a bit like the Arkham games, dude. We had too many Arkham games in a short period of time, but now it's been like a decade since we've had one. I do sit there and I go, if you'd space those out and we got one like every 4 years, every 5 years, I would have
Yeah.
still been like, I could have an Arkham game right. I mean, I could still have an Arkham game right now, but hey ho, what are you gonna do? Arkham Knight reveal trailer as well, also a very good trailer. Now that I'm thinking about it, another game that's witchcraft and wizardry. Still in 2025 is witchcraft and wizardry. But hey,
here's one for you that I think you'll appreciate just on the broader. For all of their problems as a company, Blizzard is very good at trailers.
Oh, the Overwatch. Oh, fuck. Yeah, I forgot about Overwatch. Yeah, Overwatch's trailers. Whew.
You see, my example that I had written down, was Wrath of the Lich King. Because they love doing the thing where, and I think they probably just continued to do this with Overwatch from what I gather, where they just kind of make a little 3-minute movie and be like, yep, this is our video game. And Wrath of the Lich King, I feel like, was their best one. At least, I don't know, maybe there have been better ones since I stopped playing, but, just sets up Arthas Lich King from Warcraft 3, as I would later learn, with his awesome undead powers and his ice sword and his dragon. Just very good stuff altogether. And I feel like that was probably the peak of WoW's cultural relevance as far as where normies would also know it.
Yeah, I mean, the Blizzard animation team are just something else, dude. They are just something else. Yeah, there are plenty of Overwatch trailers that I adore. I love the original reveal trailer of Overwatch. I think it's really, again, it's just a 3-minute short. I think it's fantastic. Same goes for, it's sad. It's sad looking at it in retrospect, but at the time, the reveal trailer for Overwatch 2, I still think is like, it's like top 5 trailers of all time. It is just a 5-minute animation essentially, but my god, the music and the just the way that everything is set up, it makes me sad now. It genuinely, watching that trailer back now with the music, the Overwatch 2 main theme is like my favorite piece of Overwatch music. Like the re-theme for it is so damn good, and it makes me sad now just because I think of what happened. It's the way it's at the end. It's like, does this mean Overwatch is back? Yes, it is. And I'm like, no, it's not. No, it's not.
You can't lie to me.
You fucking killed it. But it's a fantastic trailer. I still recommend it. Dude, who knows? Maybe in Overwatch 3, guys. Am I right? Ha 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 ha.
Yeah. Maybe if 3 has all the things they said 2 would.
It's never gonna happen, dude. But man, it's a great trailer. There's so many great trailers there for Overwatch. They are just fantastic. They should have made it a TV show a decade ago, but hey ho.
Yeah.
It's all fun and games. Anyway, what other trailers can you think of? What did we miss? Let us know in the comments down below. I did not mean for that to rhyme, but it's fine. Yeah. I'll put our links on screen right now. You can go follow us on Twitter or Blue Sky if you want to keep up to date with what we do outside the podcast. Next week, who knows? We're still waiting for a little bit, but don't worry. We have got games just around the corner. Metal Gear Solid Delta is coming out in just a couple of weeks. And then Lost Soul Aside is also coming out. There's games coming out in September. Trust me, there's stuff coming out. I'm not playing any of it, but somebody else will. And by somebody else, I mean Hunter. So, it's fine.
I'm somebody.
I was trying to remember if there was something that Cal might be picking up, but then I'm like, I don't think there is. Maybe Octopath in December.
It's like right at the end is when
Tactics?
Or right at the end of September is when Tactics comes out. Yeah.
Who knows? Oh, remember, guys, join us next. Remember, if you're watching this on Monday, tomorrow, Jeff Keighley's opening night live. So make sure to let us know.
Compare what we talked about to his show, because it's probably not going to be as good as what we just recounted.
Dude, the last 2 have been so bad. Surely he can't get worse. Surely. Oh, surely a man can dream. So who knows? If it's good, maybe we're talking about that. Likely something else, because opening night live is never good.
Well, it might, like, the Resident Evil thing might be good in isolation, but I don't intend on actually watching this thing.
Unfortunately, I'm off, so I definitely will be watching it, begrudgingly, shaking my fist in the air. But I love hate watch. I love a good hate watch. Anyway, who knows what we're talking about? But we'll be here, same time, same place next week for more. But yeah, until then, have an awesome week, guys, and we'll see you soon. Bye.
Toodaloo.